gonna go live.
I think we have a form. Can we call to order?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 out of 7.
Woo-hoo.
I think we're good.
Let's call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kathy.
I'm here.
Hannah?
Here.
Randy not, Danielle? I'm sorry. Daniel?
Daniel is here. Thank you.
Danielle's not here. Lynn?
Here.
Me, yes, and Amy?
Here.
And Paul?
Yep, here.
You did it. Okay. Approval of minutes from the March 2025 meeting. Any comments, corrections?
I'm sorry.
Call for approval of the minutes.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're done. Public comment, non-agenda items.
I have one question.
Sure.
It's for Paul. He might get to it in the staff report, but last month I saw from the minutes, I was reminded by the minutes, we were talking about the town's mulch pile. Have you gotten any more information on that?
I have not.
Okay.
Um,
When the gates open down there, it's just 3 blocks down. You know, I might take my van down and just go sneak in and shovel it in.
yeah,
Can we do that?
That's on record.
No, we cannot do that. That's what.
My best suggestion for that was that I get it kind of lumped in with the Berthoud Community Cleanup
Okay.
week or month, or I can't remember if it's a day or a week this year.
It's just
But-
the day.
Yeah,
Well, it's like a week and then the day of cleanup day.
yeah.
You
So,
can pick up the coupons now, I think.
mhm.
Yeah.
So I was gonna try to talk with the lady organizing that and see, and then I'd still have to just make sure there's no red tape
Yeah.
in front of that. I think again, it'd just be, we pick a park, we're there from like 9 to 12 or something.
Yeah.
And like come and get as much as we can,
Yeah.
you know,
Why not?
yeah. And then at the end of the day, maybe we just haul the rest back down there. But yeah, I can still look into that.
I think is the TV on over here maybe? Because we're hearing an echo.
Yeah.
It's a reverb.
So
Do you want to just turn it off? It's probably the TV, my guess.
it's the mics over there.
Oh.
And what I've been realizing is I've had the mic muted for a lot of our past meetings. So that's why we're actually hearing it, is I think like now you can hear us on YouTube.
Ah.
Hopefully, one of my tech, Brandon, he always usually kind of watches these and he's like, you can't hear what you guys are saying.
Yeah.
And it's because I always have this muted up here. So I think this is how it should
It's
be.
okay.
Okay.
As long as we're not.
I'll play with the volume up here too, so hopefully it doesn't get too distracting.
Just means we don't have to pantomime anymore.
Son.
But I will write that down, Lynn.
Thank you.
So you've seen the flyers, or
Hmm?
I can't remember the dates.
I
It's
think
like,
it was something on the town website when I went to look up, you know, like agendas for for the planning commission and the trustees and stuff like that, but it was something on the town website, I believe. But they
Yeah,
were advertising the coupons, so.
I just hope we're not too late.
I think, my wife was at the craft fair, was that last weekend, I think?
Mhm.
And she got something from there about it, but I don't think it was real specific.
Yeah,
couldn't
it is
find
on the town website. It's April 25th to May 10th. So still, I'll see if we can't like squeeze something in there. Again, I don't know if necessarily the lady organizing the event would have the say. It just like, that's the only event it really like fits into. So maybe we could get it on the tail end of that event. May 10th is a, probably a Saturday or something. I don't know.
I can't remember.
But yeah, it's good that we still have a little bit of time. I can see.
So it starts the day before Arbor Day.
Yes. Good. Yeah, that's a Saturday. So maybe we could get it in on like the 8th or the 9th or something. Or, well, it'd have to be a weekend
Mhm.
because otherwise no one would come to it. So, yeah, I'll see.
Okay, thank you.
Is that good for non-agenda
I
items?
have a non-agenda question.
Go for it.
Could I get clarification on our June meeting date? Do we have that set? There are 5 Mondays, I believe, in June, so
geez.
That's crazy.
I just want to make sure that I'll be here.
June would be the 16th,
16th, great.
it looks like.
Thank you.
Sweet.
All right.
That's it for me.
Spring planting?
Yeah. So, just letting you guys know, we're trying to hit our spring planting pretty hard this year. At least we've got some big project sites picked out. I mean, the first one starting at Pioneer, all these white dots. I don't know if you guys can really tell the colors.
Wow.
I wish I was logged in because I could really kind of filter these even better, but a lot of these white dots are just open spots for planting. So, starting with 7 at Pioneer, I mean, we'll have a lot of help with that. But the other spots we are targeting this year will be the dog park, which
Oh, good.
does not look like we have those spots, but we laid out irrigation for them last year. Actually,
Yeah.
in this, you can see the trench lines that we
Did,
ran.
Yes.
So we're adding 14 new trees there.
Oh, good. 'Cause
Um,
it's so open.
Yeah, and they're all going to be, you can see with this trench line, a lot more on the south side of the park, hopefully casting a little more shade into the park.
Absolutely.
And we're basically picking up those trees when we're picking up the Arbor Day trees. So
Okay.
we're hoping to roll right into that and get the irrigation set up and just, yeah, get dog park. It'll be pretty full after that. So, and luckily we haven't lost anything at dog park
Yeah,
yet.
they've done
so.
well.
Yeah, they're doing really well. And then the other spot we're going to really target this year is Hillsdale.
Oh, good.
Hillsdale actually has a very extensive irrigation system that was put in by the people before us. And all these white spots are actually spots where there's a tree ring, like a drip line ring.
Oh,
And we're going to try to like fill these rings that aren't doing anything with actual trees. And there's also some dead trees here and there. And yeah, we'll just try to fill it out with definitely more trees. In the past, I've kind of been a little complacent with the dead trees down there, saying that they're still a part of the habitat.
Mhm.
But a living tree is probably still much better than just a dead stick tree. So we're gonna. I don't have an updated count there, but with all the removals and the additions, it'll probably easily be 15 to 20 trees down there. And luckily, they'll all be on irrigation. So a lot of them will probably come from the nursery. We've got some pretty old stock that we want to just kind of rotate out of there and
Good.
refresh our stock.
yeah.
It's just hopefully they don't look out of place there, but at Hillsdale. But other than that, just it'll be odds and ends from just in other places. Like I noticed we had a couple in the roundabout that did not do well, but I think we figured out the watering issues there. And we cut out an apple at Fickle Park that wasn't doing super well. And yeah, I mean, other than that, just trying to squeeze more trees into our parks. We had this spruce tree that blew down last spring. It was probably a year ago this month. And that's another open spot. So yeah, we're just gonna try to hit our spring planting hard. My crew's been really working hard this end of winter and spring, and they added over 1,600 trees to our tree inventory. We are now up to 11,000 trees.
Nice.
So we're kind of at a good stopping point for our tree inventory. For the winter at least, and they did an extensive tree pruning on all of our young trees around town. So we're all caught up there, and yeah, just kind of clearing our schedule for all the trees that need to be planted. So
Now, your inventory only includes public right-of-way trees, right?
Yeah.
and our parks. So
Oh, yeah, parks, yeah.
yeah, and that was one thing I wish I was logged in. I wish I could have remembered the login, but we actually have a filter for just town-owned trees. And so out of that 11,000, our town-owned trees is more like 1,600 trees that we actually have a say in what we can do with them. Yeah, so yeah, a lot of these are like the ones in front of people's houses, but
Not like the one in my backyard isn't, no.
I mean, I think it'd be cool to have this whole map just, completely covered. It'd be awesome if we could do everything in people's yards and all
You
that.
have a limited number of people.
Yeah,
Well, you could put out an open for like citizen scientists, right?
we've kind of talked about that. Where it was like, would there be a little bit of like checking the submissions for like the week or the month and just making sure that people are like submitting, appropriate.
I think the
Like-
veracity is hard to determine for something like that, but so like for where I work, we'll let certain designated people, like essentially if you are given and have the information, then you just get on survey 1, 2, 3, and you can
Mhm.
update maps like that. And so
That's very
you can
doable.
do like a training or something for
Yeah.
people.
That's very doable.
And what we talked about was actually like, I mean, the tree advisory committee being like a group that has that access to, like at least submit trees and all that stuff. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's something we've talked about. We haven't really moved forward with that.
We could though.
We could. With new, we are looking into like the town has a very robust or growing GIS system with all the town's assets in this like, well, they're all on different files, but like almost all the stuff in town is getting mapped and added to a GIS program.
Good.
And the trees is one of them. Actually, we were able to just like get the data right off our Co-Tree View here and move it to our town system. And maybe if that's something where we could make like user accounts and we would kind of like to move towards that because we have more control over that GIS, whereas like with this, why we've tried to either move towards an official tree plotter account or a different GIS is we actually ran into that problem that explains why we needed that. A couple days ago, tree plotter was down for 2 or 3 days, and like there was nothing we could do about it. They were doing like back end. They must have been doing back end like maintenance on their system or something, but and then it changed a lot of stuff that we were just getting used to. A lot of these things you could fill out for each tree.
Mhm.
I'm not logged in, but it changed the whole format of all that. So like
Yes,
all
of
the
course.
all the stuff we were like getting really good at using just changed like overnight, and we kind of had to like, okay, this moved over here and all that stuff. And
You take a whole new week, 1 week course.
yeah, and so yeah, Tree Plotter does that to us every now and then, where we are not in total control of the data that is on there, and that's been a little frustrating at times. But yeah, if we move towards something a little more town owned, and like we're the admins of it, I think that would be something we could definitely try to work in, like some citizen scientists going around, just
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, I know up and down our alley and our street, well, including the new Fickle Farm stuff out there, there's stuff in the front yards that are on Fickle Farm Way, which is a trail, not a road. But they're in the front yard, so I assume that means they're not part of the tree,
Mhm.
street tree inventory. And up and down our alley, we got trees, we got bushes, and some of the others have additional trees in their front yards in addition to the street trees, so.
Mhm. Yeah, I wonder if something like that ever took off, if we did like maybe a sample neighborhood
Right.
or something like
That's a great idea.
just like maybe put up door hangers, be like, hey, if you want to like opt in, like
Mhm.
we're gonna put your, at least your front yard trees into the system. Like, we're not coming into your backyard or anything like that. But the other nice thing about this is, well, some of these systems, again, you have to be logged in, but you can like drop a pin and then move it again on the computer. We do a lot of our data entry on our phones, but like you could like set a pin and like move it to the backyard or something. And,
Yeah. So if you've ever used Survey 123, it just works off of your ArcMap.
Mhm.
So like the Esri systems, and you can do the same thing. It's like accurate up to 5 foot is like the max
Ooh.
distance that you're off of.
Mhm.
So it can get fairly accurate, and it's free. All you have to do is sign up for the map.
yeah, and then I mean that's easy enough, right? You like see a giant ash tree in somebody's backyard, and you just like, you know,
Yeah,
move the pin
exactly.
to their backyard. You don't know the size of it, but you know, we could definitely get a more robust map. Like, but then again, you don't know what's just beyond their fence.
Mhm.
I like that idea of a pilot neighborhood,
Mhm.
and I would say one of these newer neighborhoods where people know what trees they're putting in, as opposed to having to identify the existing trees in your yard, which most
Oh,
people
that's
won't be able to do.
true. They'll know, like, I've got X
Yeah.
in my
Yeah.
yard, yeah.
And there'll be more like
Like the
caliper
newer
trees
neighbor-
than
or newer
DVA, so
neighborhood.
easier to manage.
Most people probably know what they purchased last year
Yeah,
at
yeah.
the garden center, so could help. It could help just get good data quick.
Yeah. Well, for like new developments, do you get the plans for those and then enter the trees in that way?
It's actually, we just go out and look at them. Because a lot can change from a plan to like the actual what goes in the ground. And I mean that would be kind of grueling, honestly. And a lot, you know, like a lot of times a tree will die and they'll just replace it. Like if the tree on the plan, hopefully they replant it with what was supposed to be there, but a lot of times it can change, or the homeowner can change it, you know,
Yeah.
like so. We usually, I mean, we'll go through new neighborhoods and update stuff, but I mean, within a year, a lot of those trees could change.
Yeah.
So,
Smart
yeah, go.
data
That's
points.
kind of part of the problem though.
I know the Fickle 3 by the duplexes there, between the duplexes and Pioneer Park, they had some little pine trees, and several of them are dying or dead.
Yep.
And then they've plunked some trees down in the last week or two along over in there too.
Mhm.
I was thinking as we were walking Remuda to Pyramid Peak, I thought, gee, I wonder if Paul's crew know that these trees have just been plunked down into the tree lawn, to the tree lawn.
Yeah.
The 3-foot tree lawn.
Mhm.
Maybe it's bigger than that, but it seems like it's only 3 feet.
Newminster Garden.
Yeah, because I guess like in front of my house, they were supposed to be like small ornamental trees, and they put like Kentucky coffee trees like pretty close to each other. I just think like, you know, if they're not putting what they're supposed to be, like it's really kind of tracks back to the,
Yeah.
you know, like no one's really looking at the plans and making sure the builder is doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Well, technically, the inspector is supposed to do that. But
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Well, I can call the inspector.
Yeah.
You do planting inspections?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I
Like
was
the-
kind of looking on one today.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is something big for us to check, and I try to be a little lenient on those. Like a lot of nurseries, they can be struggling to find the numbers for X, Y, or Z, and they're like, hey, can we swap this variety out with
Yeah.
this? And a lot of times I'm like, okay, like
Yeah.
as long as it's not a prohibited tree, like
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah, if it makes sense, that's totally fine, but I think there's like a reason you have to have the plans approved,
Mhm.
you know, so
Yeah.
there's a reason certain trees probably wouldn't be approved on there.
Yeah.
Just one more idea on this idea. If you ever have a need or think about wanting a student to come in and work on something like this for a 10-week period, we have an internship program where they're always looking for internships. So it could be something where you have a undergrad or a grad student come in and do this kind of tracking for you.
Mhm.
If you're short on staff and time and all that.
Yeah.
Just a thought for anything really.
That's a really good idea.
Oh, one thing I've thought is like if there was a like it puts all the data, let's say in a day,
Mhm.
into like a pending like column or something, and
Yeah.
maybe that's something we could work out if we ever get to this point, where we could at least review it, you
Mhm.
know, and go through, maybe just like only see what they did,
Yeah.
make sure they're in the right spots, and maybe just double check a couple that it's like, okay, their ID was on point, and then just hit approve, and they all hit the um, hit the inventory.
Yeah, with Esri products, it's easy to cache things into groups like that.
Okay, that's good to know. Cool. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it'd be pretty cool to be able to map, even more trees. I mean, right now it's just squares, but we all know that there's plenty of trees in each one of these squares. So we could definitely have a even more robust and just a better picture of our tree canopy if we got into something like that.
And the town could also put it in the plans process that the red lines, when they get submitted, they get a shape file with all the plantings too.
Yeah.
I've requested that before and gotten pushback, but they did it anyway. What's the other alternative?
Yeah. Yeah, they like to push back.
Yeah.
More work for them. But yeah, so that's kind of the spring planting plans there.
Those are all good ideas. What's it gonna, you wanna do the EAB update?
EAB is coming up here, or at least our EAB treatments. I got all the quotes I requested from the companies. Got back a pretty good number from one of the companies, and we're moving forward with treatments. And this will be the even year rotation. Again, I wish I was logged in. It's just a filter now. But we're working on door hangers right now. And hopefully by the end of this week or early next week, we're getting door hangers on doors, letting people know. Surprisingly, it's only about only 250 residents I counted that'll be getting these treatments. I mean, I went around and counted all like the houses with hash trees in front of them, and yeah, about 250 will be getting out there putting those out, and then hopefully treatments are starting either by the end of May or early June, and yeah, we'll hopefully have another year of rotations under our belt and be another year protected. Just kind of a small update there, but kind of a big thing the town does. So, yeah.
I just have to say, I've been watching EAB since I moved out here in 2016, and I think the treatments are really working. I mean, I am not seeing the spread like I would expect to see. And so, good job of protecting our town and our trees. And
I mean,
I'm just surprised that we still haven't found it yet.
yeah, if it shows up here, really starts to pop up, it'll probably be in backyards back here, because we know all these trees are protected, and so it's not driving down the street looking for signs. It's like we look into people's backyards now. And I've seen some concerning signs, and every time I get a phone call, people concerned that their tree has emerald ash borer, I go out there immediately and check it out. I always prioritize those because, I mean, hopefully it's not here, but
It probably is here, but this is working. So
Yeah.
This is good.
Yeah.
Can we do an article in the Surveyor or anything like that right now?
We could, yeah.
Just for,
kind of like
especially
good
for
PR.
people checking in the backyards, that's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could outline the signs
Mhm.
to look for.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
That's not one of our assistance programs, is it? I say if somebody is in the backyard and they want to treat the tree,
We
that's
don't-
not one
no,
of our assistance
We don't
programs.
have the assistance, but it'd be good for people to be looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be aware.
And identifying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
I know when this program started, it was more a cost share kind of program. And I mean, maybe there's some merit to kind of bringing that back. it doesn't have to be as like robust as our current budget for these treatments because, still not a lot of people know about them. People might, there's just going to be a fraction of people that actually opt into it. But it might help some of these people that actually care about these, large trees on their
Yeah, they're
property.
just trying to raise awareness.
Yeah.
Trees in the backyard.
I know one of the biggest things, and it's actually written into the contract, but one of the biggest awareness things people get is when all the ribbons are put around the trees.
Yeah.
And I have that in the contract that they will,
It totally raises awareness.
Yeah.
People are so cognizant.
yeah.
Yes.
And the funny thing about it is more times than not, we get the question is, are these trees getting cut down?
Yeah.
It's like, no. Because they see Fickle Park with, like 38 red ribbons around all the trees, and they're like, oh my God, they're chopping all the trees down.
That say this has been treated.
We get to deliver. No, we're not.
Yeah.
They're happy.
Yeah, we are preserving these trees.
It's really good public awareness.
Yeah, I think it's subtle, but I think it's a very important part of this whole program is that, I mean, in May and June, all of our ash trees are marked. And not only is it like, I like it that yes, the contractor can put their company name and their number on it.
Yeah,
They helped us out, they did the work, but also, it really goes to show that when you're driving down the street, like how many of these trees in town are actually ash trees, like they're very clearly marked, and, maybe it takes some fluorescent bright tape to point that out because, otherwise people just, it's all one canopy it's a lot of people.
Does the tape also say on it EAB treated instead of just?
No, it doesn't, it just has their name.
No,
Just
it
the-
says these have been treated.
It does so, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily
The
say
red
A
ones
and B,
for
but they
sure.
definitely
Yeah,
tell you what's going on.
I can't remember exactly what they're saying.
If it said EAB treated, that would be even a more flashing sign. Huh?
So
I
will
don't think I
your
would scan
vendor
in the QR.
email
Police tape.
add on people who wanted to do that?
That's another kind of
Or
nice
maybe
thing
get a
about this.
discount doing it at the same time?
That's another nice thing about this is a lot of times they with the door hangers going out, it's got the contractor name on it, and it'll raise that awareness to the people, and they will actually call that contractor and be like, hey, I've got some in my backyard and my front yard, and a lot of times the contractor will just like work those into where they are in their routine and just like, oh yeah, when you get to this address, they're also going to get their front and backyard trees done, and it takes them like 5 minutes
So
to,
that'd be an easy add-on for the
Yeah.
company.
oh, super easy. So
Contractor probably loves it,
yeah,
So,
so a lot of times, yeah, like you're already going to be coming through the neighborhood, like just
Might as well be there.
sure.
yeah.
Maybe
So
they could even offer like a 10% discount on private trees.
that good
if you wanna add
advertising.
them on. I don't know if you can.
No, that
Yeah, I
Ask
was
for
thinking
that.
the same thing, I mean, it saves them time.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
because
saves
they're
them
there.
time.
And
They're
it's a
there.
service call.
Yeah.
Use the code Paul.
And that would get us.
Yeah.
So,
it's worth, yeah, I
it
mean,
might help
never
get
hurts to
some
ask.
people to buy into on treating those private trees. So.
Mhm.
At the very least, they could reduce their
Good thought.
mobilization
Good
fee.
thought.
since it's
Yeah.
already
The one thing I don't know, because I've been on these large municipal contracts, is I don't know the what they charge homeowners for. So like I don't know where they make where their margins are and all that stuff. So and I feel like they cut us a real solid deal with their pricing.
I'm sure.
I mean, yeah. So it wouldn't hurt to ask, maybe.
No, right, yeah. Cool. Right, good discussion. Anything else about EAB?
No, yep.
Want to move on to Arbor Day?
Yeah. Yeah, it's this weekend.
It's not gonna snow, I think.
Yeah, no, luckily. We have like a good year and then a bad year and then a good year. So like this is gonna be a good year, it's looking like so far. So I'm pretty excited, it's all coming together. We're definitely getting our stuff ready. getting everything staged, so we're kind of ready to roll Saturday morning. And hopefully our outreach has reached enough people and we see, good turnout. We've got 7 trees to plant, and we've kind of talked about it, like if we do end up getting like a pretty poor turnout, we might still just plant the trees. Like we talked about it, like
Yeah, we'll all be there.
oh, well, sweet. If you guys want to
It's
hang
so
out.
far away for me to get to though,
You're in your house.
Yeah.
around the corner.
Yeah. Well, like we're coming in on a Saturday. My guys they all, I make such a deal about it. They're always like, oh, we'll be there. They all know about it since like January. So, but I was like, yeah, if we don't get anybody and, it's a crappy weather, we can all just like have
do
the
it.
people plant whatever
It'll
trees.
get done.
Yeah. But then we were talking about it today and we're like, well, we'll already have all the planting stuff there. We might as well just knock them out so we don't have to roll it into next week. Like, so we'll just knock it out no matter what. And we've got that good pavilion space. I was not really able to get any of these banners done for Arbor Day. So we'll just have like some of our little informational stuff and
And I've got the 4-page garden notes on how to plant trees.
Yep.
I've got 30 copies of those.
and those will be great. We'll have our handouts and all that stuff, all of our ISA handouts and maybe some other informational stuff. Of course, the refreshments and we'll
Even
see.
have picnic tables for the refreshments.
Yeah, Pioneer really was the perfect spot. There was really no question. It was just like compared to last year, where there was nowhere to hide from the rain.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was.
You guys did it.
Is that-
It starts at 10,
Yeah.
but we'll probably be moving stuff around as early as like 7.
Yes, to get stuff in place.
Yeah. Because we'll need to do some shuffling around that day. And if I learned anything from last year, that comes up pretty quick. Like at least like last year, I was, it was like 9:30, and we still had a ton to get ready, and then people were showing up, and I was like, I've got to get out there. Like somebody's got to be there, for all these people showing up that they
Right.
know they're at the right place and all that. So, there was still a lot to get together, but I think we're
How's
Pretty-
the poster contest?
Hmm?
How's the poster-
That was what I was gonna ask you.
So, good. Ivy really came through. They probably submitted about like 25. I was gonna go back and check. For Berthoud Elementary, I only got 1.
Oh.
But if anything, these were waiting for me in my little like mail slot upstairs, and Ivy liked the stuff so much that I guess they had each kid from the 3rd grade class write a little like thank you
Oh.
with a picture on the front.
Oh my
So and they all drew like a picture on the front. So if
We can include those.
well, and the only other thing I was like looking at them is they don't have their names, but I mean it's still really good art.
It's
So
still good, yeah.
I think if we don't, and I got 3 packets from like the 3 3rd grade classes I did. So if anything, there's like a ton of content there. So right now I'm sitting at like probably like 25, 26 official, on those like with the names and everything, all the official entries. But with this that I just picked up like 10 minutes ago, well,
Cool.
40 minutes ago, I think we're gonna have tons. So I'm excited for that again. And then once we get our, everything, we'll probably start to talk calendar. So
So not the 200 or 300 like last year.
That's
that was
okay.
Yeah, it's
That's
perfect.
okay.
that was a little daunting. Yeah.
This sounds like plenty.
Yeah. So I was gonna do probably a check tomorrow because I think I did a check last Thursday to Monday. That's kind of a little too close, but I'll check tomorrow, and then last day will be Thursday, and then I'll try to get with my guys to kind of pick some.
So do you want us to be there like around 9:30 on Saturday?
Yeah, that'd be good. Oh, and then I also wore my my shirt So you notice the logo's a little like, and then I put the bucket truck on the back. So yeah, I wore this to all the presentations, and they really liked it. I think they were more excited about getting on a shirt because I wore this and I was like, I put this on a shirt because the kid drew the Town of Berthoud logo. I could not when I saw that. And no joke, from Ivy, like out of 25 of them, like more than half of them have a Town of Berthoud logo. So I think they're all gunning for the shirt this year. Honestly, they really want to get on the shirt, so they're pretty excited about that. But yeah, it's all coming together. I guess a little off topic, but looking forward, I got confirmation that we do have a booth space at Berthoud Day, and Oktoberfest is pretty far out. But hopefully our banner and we're gonna get a little table banner and then a feather flag for our events, and so hopefully those are ready by then. And then
And I've
July
got
3rd.
Mr. Gardner's coming.
yes, I wanted to double check with that. I think Allison said Arbor Day was a little too close, but
Yeah.
but
We'll get
hopefully,
Birthday Day and Oktoberfest.
okay, sweet. Because yeah, when I did the application or whatever for our booth, I definitely put in Berthoud Tree Advisory Committee, Berthoud Forestry, and Colorado Master Gardeners. So we'll see. And they've been so great. I don't really want to do an event without them from now on. So
They love doing it. I gotta
good.
tell you.
I'd love to
We've
have
got more
them.
Master Gardeners in Berthoud than ever.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, we've got some amazing people. We have
Sweet.
PhD plus person from Berthoud. Mr. Gardner, go figure. I mean, what?
Yeah, I will take them.
It's like, okay. But anyway, let's go on. Staff report.
Yeah. So
Yeah. My question, you said we were doing 7 Maples?
7 Maples. Yeah.
Particular.
I think it's either 3 or 4 Rocky Mountain Glow. Those are Acer Granitatatum, and then 3 or 4 Caddo Sugar Maples.
Oh, great.
So yeah,
Great. Those are
I
good to
have
introduce, 'cause
Yeah.
people don't know those.
and that's exactly why I chose them. They're going to be planted next to those chlorotic autumn blaze maples, and hopefully they outshine them. And just see, these are some good varieties you can pick from that still stand up. So
Yeah, I like the big Rocky Mountain Maples.
There's a bunch on
Yeah.
the
My
park.
parents are
South
in a
of
new
Mount-
area
Mount-
and they need homes.
has anyone by chance reached out to any organizations they might know, just spreading the invites? I know I didn't really get little slips, little handouts for Arbor Day. Stephanie did do a couple, but they're just sitting at the rec center right now. And I've seen it, the Arbor Day actually on the rec center's little rotation on their TVs. But I was just gonna see if anyone, if they're a part of any clubs or anything.
Oh, I
know
hadn't thought about that.
well, so I invited, I know, basically my contact for the Girl Scouts that came last year. I reached out to the Girl Scouts. I reached out to a Boy Scout Scoutmaster, and then the Rotary Club, and what was the last one?
Chamber of Commerce or something.
Oh,
reach out to them.
we should think about doing that ahead of time more next year.
Yeah,
Who to reach out to.
yeah. These big organizations are,
And just small groups, just small informal
Yeah.
groups. I'm just thinking oh, I could send out an invite to my knitting group.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? 7 or 8 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Berthoud Local. They
For
have
sure.
the community garden at
Yeah.
Pioneer. Just come on down.
Berthoud Historical Society.
Yeah.
Has anything been posted on social media?
I don't think so, but I should get with Stephanie about maybe doing a post this, and I think we had our April post as Arbor Day. So
Yeah, because if I can share it with our HOA Facebook.
That's
group
what
or
I'm thinking.
whatever.
There's all sorts of
Do an
community
HOA
groups.
blast,
Mhm.
Yeah.
you know, and they-
If they would just put something on social media in the next day or two, then, we can
You'll
Just
pick
be on
up
the
a-
lookout,
you'll pick up
share
a
it.
couple people at least.
Yeah.
I'll share it
I'm
out.
thinking I know people in the conservation.
Yeah.
And actually, the timing would be perfect.
Do a quick email out to everyone.
It's not that hard, you can do this.
A lot of times it's those last minute, like, little blasts that you get the most people from too, because they're like, oh, Saturday, yeah, I can do that.
Or something
I
to
can
do.
Yeah.
I guess another, I didn't really reach out to them, but Ursa Major, the rocket
Mhm.
factory out east of
Yeah.
town,
Yeah.
they reached out about getting involved in Earth Day in Berthoud, and I was like, we don't really do Earth Day, but we do Arbor Day.
Oh, then just grab them in for that.
Yep. So I guess I don't know how many people are coming from that, but Ursa Major employees are going to show up, so
That's awesome.
that's pretty
That's
cool
cool.
too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Good ideas.
Yeah, thanks for the reminder about the post. Yeah, I've probably been bugging Stephanie way too much this month. This is like, again, our big event for the year, but yeah, I'll make sure she gets that
Trying
post
to
out for
remember.
us.
I think it was on the little thing that comes over with our water bill.
Oh, yeah.
It was.
Yes.
So pretty.
So, yeah, but I agree, like closer to the week of, it's like people might actually,
A day or two before.
yeah, yeah. might
Time I
actually-
get my water bill.
Like most trees.
All right. That's fun.
All right. So yeah, just these are probably all out of order, so bear with me. But a lot of not just young pruning, but young tree pruning, but we are also pruning up some of our trees that have just been like hanging low over our parks. So just clearing stuff up off the
I've
sidewalks.
noticed. It looks good. actually.
Yep. We're definitely starting with some irrigation. This was a kind of a redo at the Berthoud Community Garden. If anyone hasn't seen, the town really gave the Berthoud local and the community garden at Pioneer a lot of attention this year by helping them rebuild all their gardens and all that.
They're
Yes.
very excited about that.
Oh, it looks so sweet. So
Stuff coming up.
yeah. So we helped, I've been in contact with at least one contact at Berthoud Local, and we helped them re-drip line their trees. They had a pretty, just an old system there, so we kind of redid it there. And we were actually going to help them plant 2 more fruit trees. They lost 2 apple trees, so we're going to help them and pick a couple up, and also probably do that next week with them.
My question about go back to.
Yeah.
Are these lines permeable lines that seep or seep out, or are they gonna have little sprinkler heads tapped into them?
So this is called Netafim, and it's so it's not like the porous line. Those kind of break down in the sun and just break down over time and start to develop bigger leaks. These have like a little like drip emitter every 12 inches along the line, and so
Built into it.
built into it, yeah.
Oh,
And they're it's not just like a hole poked in it. There's like a little like regulator in there, so that it only lets out so much at a time. We really like this stuff because it's a little more consistent.
What's it called again?
Netafim,
Neta?
Netafim, Netaf. I think it's might be film, Netafilm.
No,
or
it's
Neta-
NETAFIM.
or, yeah, something. Netafilm or Netafilm, something like that.
because I was noticing, I see these connectors and there's 2 clamps on every side of.
Yeah. Still, that is less intensive than the old school where it's like, the black pipe with like a plug and some spaghetti tubing to another plug. I mean, those in a park setting, those go missing and pop off all the time, and then you just have like these. Yeah. We're trying to move away from that system because it's a lot of plastic, a lot of stuff that can go wrong. Where the only part that this is gonna leak is this connection right here. And yes, there's a lot of connections, but if there was like 12 spaghetti tubes and 12 drip heads all along this, I mean, that's 12 points of connection, let alone on all these junctions where something could go wrong and a leak could start. So this stuff is really nice. Really, we got turned onto it at Wagner. Wagner was installed with a lot of this stuff, and we're like, it's so much better for drip line. So that was a big rehaul we did over at Pioneer.
You have to be careful with that, not to introduce debris into that line though.
I think that's part of the.
Can't
I think that's
pull
part of the
those lines out
regulator.
or put new ones in or whatever.
Yeah,
So if that line gets cut, you have to be careful when you repair it, not to wash a lot of dirt down into it.
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
On that, if you
I-
put the holes facing upward, that way you don't get any settlement of
Yeah.
things into the
Yeah.
holes, and so it'll pop up out the top.
Hmm.
We always recommend you put the hole up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you can flush them with a dilute, of vinegar.
Yeah, if you take it apart, flush the end or something too, yeah.
Yeah.
And then this was prepping one of the planting spots. We ripped out those mounds last winter. Oops, that's not. But so my guys were there last week. So it's in another picture here. I'll maybe come back to it. We did get our Tree City USA recognition for the year, 42 years. This was just, yeah, I mean, kind of a big thing, but we always go around and put those stickers up. So, and that's our new tech, Richard. Oh yeah, here's a picture of the old system. It was like these, I've never seen connections like this, but like, these like big yellow things that punctured into the lines, and then it was just spaghetti tube out of that, and it worked its way to the surface and all that. So, these are my open space guys helping out with, we were ripping out all the fabric, and we're gonna remulch it, and we were gonna, obviously add new drip lines. So that was big project. Watering, this is, just with how dry it has been, kind of prior to these last 2 weeks, we just watering our trees down at Hillsdale, and some of the tree pruning, we were doing structural pruning, really getting these back to a central leader and a dominant leader. A lot of ours were starting to lose dominance, so it wasn't just our little like 1 to 5 year old trees. We were going after our like 10-year-old trees and stuff like that. And if you guys go through Fickle, you'll notice that a lot of the medium-sized trees have had a lot of structural pruning done. So they went above and beyond on that, and everything looks great. I think they did a great job on it. A couple more on Main Street. Really just trying to get these out of that 14-foot. We're just kind of taking on Main Street trees. It's really not that many. It's really a big part of Main Street, and like for those businesses to be responsible for those trees, it's just like, we'll just do it, and we'll do it right, So this is out in front of Coffee House, and we were just printing that up. So these lowest
It looks
Per-
it looks much nicer.
yeah, a lot of these, it's just, for us with the equipment, it's a quick work, and it's not that hard, and, we know the codes, and it's a shame to see these get hit by delivery trucks and all that stuff, when it's like, these are gonna be our main.
Trucks and everything else that come in there,
Yeah, they're like, we'll just do it, it's no problem. We had a little bit of fertilizer left over. Parks gets massive load of granular fertilizer for all the turf, and we just we're spreading it around on some of our trees. This was at Hillsdale, but we also spread some on our big tree spaded trees out at the bike park. Those look like they could use a shot of some nutrients, so we spread it out there and just kind of actually fertilizing our trees with some stuff we had on hand. Cleaning up our wastewater site, that was something we did this month. Just some routine maintenance. Hanging our Arbor Day banner. Kind of,
It looks so good.
yeah. I'm so happy we have that banner now. So yeah, these are those rings where we're planting those trees. Yeah, they used to be these weird turf mounds. Parks hated them because like they weren't even flat. Like they were a weird mound that was hard to mow. And so with being turf, they had sprinklers. And so what we're gonna do is we've capped all of these. It's like 6 pop-ups per little oval, and we've capped them. And we're just gonna run Netafim out of one of them and just kind of encompass this.
Does it have like a structural tree box in there at all?
No, it's just dirt. But yeah, one thing we kind of have to mod the box to have a pressure reducer. in the box, just to
Oh.
kind of switch to, from a sprinkler to,
Yeah.
to drip. So yeah, like very fortunately, they have irrigation in them, so we're gonna definitely take advantage of that. But also, if you guys haven't seen these, and you'll definitely see them on Saturday, they're actually really big.
Mhm.
So we've also talked about, maybe a couple bushes to go with the trees or
Mhm.
something like that. Because otherwise, if it's just a tree,
In a
and
spot, in
mulch.
a hole, yeah.
it's gonna be kind of more unsightly than we imagined. So we're gonna find some stuff to kind of add to this, and
Or even some perennial.
Like ornamental
flower.
grass.
Yep.
Yeah.
we'll definitely.
No water.
Yeah.
I love ornamental grass too.
It's just so easy.
It's so
I like
easy.
dwarf spruce.
Yeah,
It creates like a stomach.
that was at Pioneer. Those are the planting spots for Arbor Day.
We
We've
got
had
lots of marigold seeds we can plant.
yeah. We don't have I mean, we have a lot to take care of, but we don't have an annual bed anywhere. Like, and I used to be on CSU's annual crew.
Yeah,
and
yeah, I know you're, yeah.
that was a lot of fun. Like, it's very active. It's very planning. Like you design a bed each year and do something different and fun.
Speaking of which, I've heard so many compliments on the bulb plantings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those
So
look nice.
people are just like, oh my gosh.
That's awesome.
So,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yep.
It's been noticed.
Yes.
It truly has been noticed.
We were very excited about that, and we kind of kept it a secret until
Especially upside down tulips.
those are fritillaria.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people were just like so excited to see, oh my gosh, look how beautiful this is.
Yeah.
So huge response.
And we're hoping those are going to be a year-to-year thing, where we don't need to, buy 2,000 bulbs every year. Like, we're hoping just to let them go dormant
Yeah, yeah.
and keep them alive over the summer, and then just next spring bring them out. And,
Bulbs are always sensing, which is
Yep.
a weird concept. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
the one tough thing
They're
is,
beautiful.
yeah, they're in containers, so like they're not necessarily like buried in the ground and kind of going through those cycles. Like, we'll have to.
The public comment was
Yeah.
fantastic.
I appreciate that. It was fun to design that, and that's why I kind of like maybe a small annual display would be really fun.
Yeah, well, people
because
will respond to it. I think they
Yeah.
really will.
like CSU, I had so much fun. The year I was there, they were doing food in a lot of their annuals, and so we did like Swiss chard and beets and cucumbers and
See,
really like lots of like very visual food. And one of the funny stories is like right on Lake Street, that main entrance with those two big beds, we did beets and tons of beets. And midway through the year, the beets were getting big, and we planted them so thick that they were starting to push each other out.
Yeah.
And I told the person, I'm like, hey, like these kind of might need to be thinned out, like they're really thick. And so she was like, yeah, fine. And so I would go out there and I'd pick beets and put them in a bag and take them home and eat them, because like it was our edible like display.
That's how we do produce. For production, the over, and then you
Yeah,
just
yeah.
thin them, and you've got microgreens. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think with the Swiss chard too, I'd just go and cut some and take it home, and
Gets huge kale too.
oh, it's so good.
Great public comment on that.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That was exciting. I'm glad to hear it. And then the last one, just we busted out our water truck again just to kind of keep some stuff watered. So just doing a little bit of spring watering. I know irrigation turn-ons are right around the corner, but we're just kind of really fortifying some of our trees and new plantings, and some of our trees we're keeping an eye on at Town Park. This was one of them. So just kind of making sure they've got those much needed drinks that they need. So, and that is the end of my staff report.
Anything else for public comment or good of the order or things on your mind? Good news. I think I can adjourn.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. All righty. At what time is it?
6:26.
6:26. Dang. All right. Good meeting. So we'll see you at Saturday
Yep.
before 10 o'clock.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I didn't know that.
You'll see that.
If anything, we might